G'day everyone, and welcome back to Power Aesthetics Fitness, helping you build your body to both look and perform at its best. In today's video, we'll be going over all the major chest exercises, determine which ones are good, which ones may not be worth your time, and which ones you'll get the most out of. So let's jump into it. So the way that this list will work is that I will be going through each of these exercises down here at the bottom, and we're going to be deciding where they fall on the tier list between A to D rank. And then from there, once we've completed all of those, I'll be showing you which three I think will be your most effective exercises. If you can only do 3 exercises during the week, what I would definitely invest in. I'll also give you one that I think is bit of an underrated pick, as well as one which I think might be a little bit overrated. Like obviously all these exercises are good, but one that I think is often overhyped within the community and may not be worth as much of your time. Again, all these are great exercises, hence why there's no F tier. There's just ones which I think are slightly better than others. But anyway, let's just jump into it. Starting off with the barbell bench press, hands down one of the most iconic exercises of the gym. Almost any time that you go to tell someone that you lift, they'll ask you how much you bench is. It's a very iconic exercise, very good exercise for the chest. It's generally going to be one which will hit the lower/middle area of your chest. Great one for building up great strength, good power. For me, I think that it is it's definitely up there. I think it's definitely going to go in the A tier. I think that sometimes it may be a little bit overrated in some ways, but I think at the same time it still has so many benefits that you can't say that it is a bad exercise in the slightest, or even just a mediocre exercise. I think it's an absolutely terrific exercise, but sometimes I think that the benefits of growing your chest for hypertrophy may be a little bit overrated, but still very, very good exercise. All right, moving on to the floor press, a great alternative if you do not have access to a bench, but you still have access to a barbell or a rack or something like that. Obviously as well, a very good exercise as a accessory to the bench press. I'd say for chest, I think that this exercise isn't the best. I'd say it's definitely good, but I'd say it's definitely more for the lockout portion of the bench press, a lot more triceps, good pushing movement in general, great for strength. But for chest, I'm gonna have to put it in, it will either be bottom of C or top of D. Well, I'll put a bottom C for now and see how everything looks by the end. All right, moving on to the push-up, another very iconic exercise. It's a very good one for building fundamental strength. It's often used in the army as well to see how many you can do. Great for endurance, great for strength and hypertrophy. Obviously as well, very iconic calisthenics-based exercise. You can't go wrong with a push-up. There's a reason why it is so popular. It's because it's very effective. It sometimes may have a plateau once you get to the point where you can do 15 or more. You'd either have to find a way to add weight, which can sometimes be a little bit difficult because it's hard to balance weight on your back compared to a pull-up or a dip where you can add a vest for that sort of thing or a belt. Great for beginners, great for intermediate, and great for endurance. But I'd say we'll have to go top of B. It may move up to bottom of A by the end of it, but for now, it's going in the B tier. Next up is the incline press. Now, the incline press, absolutely one of my favorite exercises, especially for the chest. It's great for building the chest as well. Obviously, it's a chest tier list, but it's often good to talk about how good it is for building up the shoulders and the triceps as well. It can get a very good range of motion. It often will target the upper chest as well, which is something that is very important for building aesthetics, great for athleticism. For the incline bench press, I think I'm going to go put that in the top of A to yes, above the regular bench press. They're both absolutely amazing exercises, but I think that I'm going to have to put the incline press above it just because I think that it's better for aesthetics. It's more like the bench, regular, lower chest is not that applicable to athletics and different athleticism, but yeah, I think the incline press is definitely a great option. Now, coming up is the decline press. Now, this is a very good one if you're trying to isolate more the lower pec. That being said, it's not I think that you're not going to get as much bang out of your buck compared to a regular bench press. I think it will only emphasize the lower chest just a little bit more, but at the same time, the lower chest is not something that you'll really need comparatively. It'll obviously put more emphasis on the triceps compared to the incline press or the regular flat bench. But I just think that it's obviously a good exercise, but I just think that it's kind of there's a lot of better options. It's obviously as well hard to get access to a decline bench. It's a lot less popular. So for that, I'm going to put in that in the C tier just above the floor press. Okay, moving on to the dip. I am a big fan of the dip. I think that it is absolutely amazing for building up strength, as well as said before, like compared to the push-up, it's a lot easier to load. You can just get either a weight vest or a weight belt, and you can really load that up and really be able to lift heavy weights. Great for hypertrophy, great for strength, use a lot in different sports and stuff like that. It's definitely going to go in the A tier. Will it go above the regular bench press? I think it might as well, because I think it's better for athleticism, since it's way better to be like not like obviously lying down is like not necessarily saying you won't be athletic with it, but I just think that using your body weight is far more applicable for athletics. So overall, like if it's based exclusively on hypertrophy, the bench press might go above it, but I'd say overall for endurance, for hypertrophy, for strength, I think that the dip just edges it out, but probably a little bit below the incline press, because I think that's probably great because it hits the upper chest more. Moving on to the dumbbell fly. Now, the dumbbell fly obviously is a good movement for isolating the chest. It's a good way to get a large stretch, as well as a good contraction of the chest as you go move it across. That being said, I always just found that the resistance curve has never been that good. You're obviously as well putting a decent amount of pressure on your shoulder as you bring the your arm out quite far for it. And therefore, I'm just usually not a huge fan of it. So I think it's going to have to go in... I'm going to put it at bottom of C tier. Like, I'll put it above the floor press, but I just think there's a much better option, which is what we're going to talk about right here, which is the cable fly. This is basically everything that the regular fly wants to do, but better. It's a much better resistance curve, way less pressure on your shoulders. I think that the cable fly is just so good. It's something that I've used a lot in order to create better mind-muscle connection with the chest. It's something which I think is very good for as like an additional to like your pressing exercises. Obviously, you don't want it to be your only chest exercise, but it's a good supplemental, and therefore it is going to go in the top of the B tier. So final exercise is going to be the dumbbell pullover. Now, a lot of the time people will say this is more of a back exercise, but there's also been slightly popular to use it as a chest exercise. If you keep your chest contracted and kind of keeping your arms close together, you'll definitely work your chest a little bit more as compared to flaring out. That'll work more of your lats. And I never got this, to be honest. I always thought that it just never found it really hard to get on the chest. Like I know a lot of like channels like Athlean X will talk about how good it is for the chest, but I just never found it that effective. So I'm going to have to put it in the D tier. Okay, so that is the list. I'm now going to be declaring what I believe is the 3 most effective, what is the underrated, and what is overrated exercise. So you'll see that there's obviously 3 exercises in the A tier, and you'll think those will naturally be your top 3, right? Well, not exactly, because when it comes to determining what your top 3 is, they have to serve different functions in your training, since you only can do 3 if in this theoretical rule set. I think it's good to have a press that works the middle to lower chest, one which works the upper chest, and then some sort of exercise which is really good for isolating, getting a good stretch, and then obviously getting a good adduction across your body. And therefore, I think it's going to have to go to the incline press, the dip, and for the lower / middle, and then obviously incline for the upper chest, and then from the adduction / stretch, I'm going to do the cable fly. Obviously, the bench press, absolutely amazing exercise. I think that it can be something which is really good if you're going for powerlifting, for strength-based sports, but I think that it just comes down to the fact that it serves a very similar purpose to the dip, and therefore I think that if you can only do 3 exercises, you'd be better off doing the dip and then having the cable fly. Overall, as you saw before, I think the bench press is definitely a better exercise than the cable fly, but in this scenario, I would choose the cable fly over it. And so now moving on to the most underrated, I'm going to give it as well, which is why there's a second one down here. I'm going to give it to the cable fly as well, just because I think that's something which a lot of the time people think, oh, you need to be like hitting the bench press for a big chest, which obviously you can do, or the dumbbell fly and stuff like that for good isolation. But I think the cable fly just does what it does, but way better, and kind of spoiled it for there. But for the most overrated, I'm going to be giving it to the dumbbell fly, just because I think the cable fly just does whatever it does better. It can lead to some injuries with like the strain on the shoulder, and I just never found the contraction to be that good. But anyway, that is the list. And there we have it. If you found this video helpful, be sure to drop a like. If you have any comments or any disagreements with anything that happened in the list, be sure to let me know down below in the comments. And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want your own tailored program where I break everything down for you, be sure to check it out on the website, link in the description down below.